Sweating balls. So I was contemplating on making this video or not, but I want to be transparent as possible. I feel like most people always put their highs, you know, going on vacations, getting stuff for their birthday. Highs meaning anything, watch your little self because you're about to hit my car. Highs as in good things that happen to them, but really not their lows. And lows meaning maybe not exactly bad things that happen to them, but difficult situations or not as joyful moments, which are part of life. But I decided that if I don't show my lows as well as my highs, then I'm not really being real, and that's not what I want to do here. And there's nothing I dislike more than when people are fake. So therefore, I wanted to share my experience with leasing a vehicle and how I lost $5,500. And if at least one person can learn from my mistake, then I feel like this video will fulfill its purpose. And the small video clip that you're about to see is the day that I was gonna sell my lease vehicle, but things didn't work out the way I planned. What happened was on my birthday, why I decided to do a business transaction on my birthday, I thought that I would have better luck just because it was my birthday. Well, let's backtrack to the day before my birthday. So I have 2 lease vehicles and I wanted to get rid of one because 1, I no longer needed it, and 2, if I didn't need it, then why not put that money back in my pocket and save the money, which was one of my goals on my vision board, because my monthly payment for leasing the car was $355 and I was probably paying from $100 to $150 on car insurance. So the monthly expense from the car came to about $500, not including gas, car washes, or air fresheners and little things like that. So that's $500 that I could put back in my pocket. Now, the way that I was turning it in, it wasn't going to affect my credit, because it's not like I was turning it in like, here are the keys, I no longer want to pay this for this car, and then ruin my credit or something. Like, that's not the way I was doing it. I was selling my car back to the dealer. If you have a lease and you were in a contract, like I was in a contract, the contract was to keep the car for 3 years, to lease the car for 3 years, and put 12,000 miles on it per year. So when I turned it back in after the 3 years was over, I wouldn't go over, I wasn't supposed to go over 36,000 miles. So since I was decided to get rid of the car, I went to the Honda dealership. Pretty much they checked out the car and they told me that the value of the car today was $13,000. Mind you, when I leased the vehicle, I leased it brand new. The total amount was, I believe, $21,000 something, between $21,000 and $22,000. I've only had it for a year, and the biggest reason for so much car depreciation was the miles that I had, because after a year I was only supposed to have around like 12 to 13,000 miles. And well, honestly, it was the end of January when I turned it in, because it was right before my birthday, so could have had about like 13,000, 14,000 miles, and it had 20,000 miles. So I had an extra 7,000 miles, which was the main reason for so much depreciation. So the good thing was turning it back into Honda, or selling my lease vehicle to Honda. I wouldn't have to worry about making any remaining of the payments, of the lease payments, because I still had 24 months to go. So all I had to pay was the difference in the car value. The beginning balance of the car value, like I said, was $21,000 to $22,000. And after a year, I was probably at like $18,000. To be exact, it was $18,782. And with them saying that the value of the car was now only $13,000, I have to come up with the difference of the depreciation, even though I don't have to worry about the 24 months lease payments that were left. So before I left the dealer, because I said I was going to think about it and talk it over with my husband and see what we decided. Before I left, they gave me the paper that was good for 2 weeks or whatever the case was. And the salesman that was helping me wrote down the math on the paper. So pretty much how much I owed, how much the car value was, and what was the difference. And it was like, he said it was $5,000, so he wrote down $5,000. So he was like, you want to get rid of the car, you have to bring me the car and $5,000. So after me and my husband talked it over, we decided it was better to just pay the $5,000 and get rid of it, just because with the monthly lease payment and the car insurance alone, we were paying $6,000 a year. So really, we'd make the $5,000 back in 12 months. It would make it, the money would make its way back into our pockets, and we will also make $1,000 profit because we were paying $6,000 to have it in 12 months. So we wanted to get rid of it as soon as possible because we didn't want to put any more miles on it, so they wouldn't come and say, well, we're going to give you less now because you have more miles. You know how the dealers are. So after doing a couple of transactions, the day that I was available to go and take it happened to be my birthday. Now, after my experience, I suggest not doing any business transactions on your birthday because what is planned can go wrong, which is exactly what happened. So I went to the dealer, $5,000 cash in hand. The car was washed, ready to go. Then when I get there, after a little while of them preparing the paperwork and everything, he tells me that the difference that I have to pay is not $5,000, it's $5,500. Now, a lot of people will think, well, his mistake was only a $500 difference. Well, to me, $500 is a lot. To the dealer, it's probably not. So at this point, I'm frustrated because I've made several visits to a dealer. I've lined up my ducks so that I can come back and take care of this and be done with it. And now he comes with this. So I start telling him, look, I don't have another $500 to give you. I feel like they're just taking advantage because maybe they thought I wasn't going to hold up my end of the bargain and I wasn't going to come back with the $5,000. And when I did, they want to change things up on me, which I think is so unfair. But that's what happens with these big shot dealers. So being his mistake, I was really upset because I feel like $500 really, the dealer can't waive those $500. It was your mistake. I held my end of the bargain. I did what I had to do. How can you not honor what you said? You're not holding up your side of the bargain. I was very upset. Then they started saying like, well, you can come back in 2 weeks or 4 weeks. They said, well, maybe you can give us a check for the $500 and just date it, you know, for 2 weeks or 4 weeks. What else did they say? They came up with any possible solution except for admitting the mistake and honoring what they said, or even going halves on it. Like, you make the mistake, waive $250 and I'll put in another $250. I even tried to persuade him, like, look, I brought $5,000 cash. That didn't work either. So then I thought maybe if I start, like, packing my stuff and he sees, like, I'm going to leave and you're going to miss out on these $5,000 cash. At first, it did seem to work. Like, he was like, oh, let me see what I can do. I don't know if he just went somewhere and just waited around acting like he was asking a higher power, or if he was actually asking his boss. But the fact is that he came back and then he said, there's nothing I could do. He probably didn't even admit that he was the one that made the mistake, honestly. I'm not the type of person to be like, well, let me talk to your boss. I want to talk to the boss. Make sure that he knew that he made the mistake, or like get him in trouble. I'm just like not a conniving type of person. I told him, well, I guess I'm going to leave and you have my number and you can let me know like what can be done. Now, it sounds like something quick now that I'm talking about it. I was there from about 9 in the morning to like almost 2 o'clock in the afternoon. So pretty much now half of my birthday is gone. My day is ruined. I feel so down and out because I didn't accomplish what I set out to do today. So now it's my birthday. Half of the day is wasted. I'm down and out. I have to get ready for the basketball game that I was going to go to. The Chicago Bulls versus the Heat. I was so sad that when I got home, my husband saw like my distraught face and he asked me like what happened. And usually I want to talk about things. I want to solve things. Let's find a solution. Let's resolve this. But I told him I don't want to talk about it and I'm going to go upstairs and take a shower. And that is not me. I never say that. I'm a problem solver and I don't like to have things up in the air. I just showed him right there that like it was a bad day. I even at one point like thought like, am I still going to go to this game? While I was taking a shower, I was like, you know what? I'm not going to let that ruin the rest of my birthday. There's still half of a day left and I know I'm gonna have a good time. I love basketball. I love watching the games. I love going to the American Airlines Arena, going to Miami. It's so much fun. I just thought no matter what, I'm still gonna go. Still went and I still had a good time, of course. And the basketball game totally changed everything around. Now, about 2 days later, I did go back to the dealer because me and my husband talked about it. And like I said, okay, now they're saying $5,500. We're still gonna get back $6,000 in our pocket after being rid of the car for 12 months. So we're still gonna get the money back, and we'll still make a $500 profit now instead. But so it's still a better idea. It was a pretty quick transaction, a smooth transaction. Thank God they didn't come and with another counter offer saying, oh, now you got to pay $6,000. Like, I paid the $5,500. I left the car, and that was that. So being that was the first time that I leased a vehicle, every time I've purchased a vehicle, I always finance. Leasing a vehicle to me is not worth it unless you're the type of person that can play by the rules. The only reason leasing a vehicle would be a good option for you, or would be a better option than financing the vehicle, is one, your monthly lease payment is going to be low. So it's going to be like $200 or less. Then that's worth it. And two, you are going to keep the vehicle for about 2.5 years, 3 years, turn it in, and just take out another new vehicle and lease that one as well, and just continue leasing instead of purchasing a vehicle and keeping it. And three, you're not going to put more than the miles that is on the contract. You're not going to put more than 12,000 miles a year. That's the only way leasing a vehicle is worth it, or is going to work out for you, or is a better option than financing. Most of the time, you're not going to be able to do those three things. If you're not going to be able to do those three things, or if you're not going to get those three things, then it's not worth it. You live and you learn. It's an experience. You grow from it and you move on. People that do lease a vehicle or are thinking about leasing a vehicle, just know that you can sell your vehicle back to the dealer. And a lot of people don't know that. They think, okay, well, if I break the contract, I'll be in trouble and I have to pay all this money. No, you do have the option of selling the vehicle back to the dealer, and you'll just have to pay the difference in the depreciation. Don't think that you can't get out of the contract, because you can. And the dealers just don't tell you that. They don't give you that info. They don't want you to know that. So if you'd have anything you'd like to share, leave a comment below. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.